All
All
right.
right. Hey, so I'll start it off then, I guess. Um, Making good progress on this ticket handling thing. Today I have my first official meeting with our first guinea pig. He knows who he is. I'm really happy about this. It's gonna really help us a lot. Um, and usually, for me, this first call is about figuring out how long these meetings are gonna take me, and then you know making sure everyone is officially advised and in the know with this thing. So, this is some of the or one of the things that we added yesterday. I want to make sure everyone is aware. Um, this is basically the grading that we're going to be using. And then, of course, like for other managers, we've got some stuff plugged in here that they can just kind of copy paste and change out variables and whatnot. So really good. Uh, I imagine today I'm going to be hopefully McManus cracked the nut yesterday with U.S. Gold. We had to have a meeting about that yesterday. John English and his never-ending ticket or his never-ending project. So hopefully today we find out that we cracked the nut with that. On top of that, I think meeting wise, I'm good until we have our QA meeting later on today. No, no, no. 11. I have an 11 o'clock. That's right. What the hell happened to it? No, never mind. I have two other meetings today, so I should be free up the afternoon after those meetings. My last meeting scheduled today ends at 12:30. So anyhow, let's start off done. Let's just tell me. Let's just see if we can try to condense this. Maybe we should try doing like an official Scrum, like based on standards, which is um, tell me what you're working on real quick, and then tell me with whatever you mentioned that you're working on. Let me know if there's any roadblocks. So we'll just go just with those simple things, and then if there's a roadblock, then we sidebar, and then we clear the road.
Okay then. I think that's how we started at some point.
Yeah.
So here's the TLDR on it. I'm going to be sweeping tickets since Jesse's not officially in today. One of the OS upgrades I had gotten handed to me. I think it was Randall that passed to me yesterday. I don't know, Brains have here. They want to reschedule again, last possible minute, for Sunday night, which again is outside the window we told them that we would do these things. Um,
What time it's Sunday night?
7 p.m. Pacific.
Well, Jesse will be here.
Well, yeah, but Jess will be here to do it on his own. So if something goes south, or if he's distracted, if he has something else going, I just personal point with me, I don't think OS upgrades should ever be a completely solo thing, because that way, if something goes south, you have somebody to cover your back.
Yeah, that is a pretty big deal. I mean, I guess it's not really a roadblock, but more or less a recommendation. And then we'll see how much pushback they give, and that's if that's the date that they want. Sometimes customers forget the same way
I'm
people
on call anyway, so if something goes south, I'll be suffering for it. Um,
take that, you dirty dog.
yeah, yeah. Yonder last night is probably going to affect my ticket performance today because of 90 minutes of them shooting themselves in the foot. Um, and yeah, as I said, just going to sweep some tickets. I've got a few that are going to time out and try to get the QAs caught back up since I've been lapsing on them. That's it.
Excellent. Excellent.
My turn. All right. So U.S. gold stuff. When John English said he thought the problem was admin 01, he was pretty much right. So what I found, and I haven't found the cause, but I found what's going on, is PHP on admin 01 had the session limiter, whatever setting, set to none, and WWI1 had it set to no cache. So what that setting in PHP does is it attaches the cache control header on the response, and it should be set for PHP pages to be no cache. But instead, it was getting none, and Apache was attaching the default expires header, which then sets the no cache, and it was set to 1 month plus a day, or today plus a month. So any page, including admin pages from admin 01, would be cached in the browser. And when you did something like save a product, and then the Magento says, hey, here's the page, and it matches the page you were just looking at, the Magento or the browser just uses the one in cache, which shows the wrong values. So we changed the PHP setting, and Apache was still overwriting it with the default expires add setting. And they're both the same. That particular expires add default setting is the same on WW01 and admin 01. But for some reason, admin 01 is overwriting what PHP is telling it and adding its own stuff. So I took out the default setting, left all of the ones for CSS, JavaScript, images, and whatnot, and magically it looks like everything's working. So I don't know why Apache's not listening to PHP the way it should, and John's kind of inclined that if this is fixed, I'm putting air quotes here, then he doesn't want to mess with it. But he's waiting on his admins and stuff to do stuff today to determine whether it's fixed or not, and he's going to tell us. But as far as his testing last night from his house was concerned, and he also used the terminal services systems, it looked like everything was working fine now. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm not going to turn a cartwheel yet, but that's good, just based on everything. But I think that's definitely good progress.
Yeah.
And it all spawned off of a meeting that we had where, I mean, that's why we huddle up, guys. We had a call yesterday, too, with McGinnis, with Laura, Mitchell, McManus, and myself. And we happened to make good progress right after the meeting, so good shit. All right.
Other than that, I want to work on Annapolis Performance Sports and this XR, the Extreme Restraints. I need to get their stuff prepped and talk to them. Other than that, I hope it's a easy peasy Friday. Oh yeah, the whole Postruck issue too. That ticket from yesterday was because the third-party API user, their Java client doesn't support SNI, which we had enabled a few days before because Kyle's buddy hosts 2 sites on that server and wanted SSL. So Kyle said those are not his sites; those are his friend's sites. So go ahead and take SSL down for him, and he will talk to his buddy about possibly paying for more IPs for that server. Oh, and the third-party API user is updating their Java client in March. So it will support SNI and HTTP2 and a bunch of other stuff.
They just put up a coming soon landing page.
Yeah. I'm interested in, though, the fact that I never see any of those IPs that they gave us in the access logs at all. I don't think they're actually coming from those IPs. I think they have that completely wrong because those IPs aren't hitting the API at all or the server at all. But hey, Kyle ran the app and everything updated for their shipping, which was just in time because they don't ship over the weekend and today was their last day to ship. So they are very, very much happier now. Cool. Next.
Are you done?
No, I'm going to talk for another hour. Is that cool?
Rainier Arms getting their migration just got through going through and making sure that their NFS migration from last night was done successful and everything for Dan and everybody.
So hold on. So real quick. So explain to me, like, because I already knew what the fucking problem was on that because I had to get that shit going. But last night they officially
moved
rolled.
everything over to NFS. It's going through the load balancer, but it's not being load balanced between the two servers yet.
Gotcha.
It's only going to www.02.
Okay, and it's going to be 02, 03. Or is there...
0102.
0102. Okay.
Since 01, the site was working on that server a month and a half ago. So it was elected just to keep that server since it already, we know it works on it.
So let's talk about this real quick, everybody. I want to get everyone's attention on this, please. One of the things that we talked about yesterday on the call was that when customers want to add another server to the load balancer, I think it makes sense for us as the guys who are going to be supporting these servers to raise some concern over just plugging in another server and then keeping the existing build. I think what we should do is also try to look into the possibility of rebuilding. So you get a new server, and then you cut the site over to that server, and then basically you get another server that replaces the old server instead of just using the existing server. Some of the things that I've seen there, besides a lot of inconsistencies with builds, meaning like, for example, the whole FPM conversion thing. Before, we would actually convert those boxes to PHP FPM from, say, mod PHP. So a lot of the Apache configs are different. The paths for like PHP FPM files are different on some servers. It's just kind of, it's different. So I think what will help us is to make sure that if there is going to be a server that's built out, that if it's going to be built out based on a new standard, that we compare what that new standard is to what's already in place, and then at that point make a decision as to whether or not it's a good idea to motion towards rebuilding another box to replace the previous server instead of just throwing them together. Because that's when we start talking about some of the confusion with US Gold, that was the direction that the conversation was headed. Like, hey, let's just rebuild. That's like, it makes me feel like, fuck, we're gonna just undo like all of our, like, what, a month worth of work. So just something to think about when you guys hear of these upgrades, and pass that word around, and just kind of, make sure that everyone understands that this could potentially impact the customer's experience here at Zero Lag. So go ahead, Mitchell. Sorry, I had to fucking go off on that.
No, that's the problem. Well, with Rainier Arms, we're going through it. We're making, there's like, say, 10 changes that needs to be made total, and we're just making 1 or 2 changes at a time to make sure that everything goes over very smoothly. So that's where that's at. Zarpo, he was having issues this morning, like normal. I don't know what's up with him.
Dude, we need to talk about him. Okay, go ahead, but I want to talk about Zarpo at the end of this scrum. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, other than that, following up on a couple of other tickets and trying to flush everything out to get it ready for the weekend.
Okay.
Go ahead about Zarpo.
This shit is... this shit.
Old, tiring.
What it is, it's shit.
Daily.
What's up?
I'm getting to the point to where it's like the wolf, or the kid that cried wolf, and I'm starting to ignore it almost.
I know. And we're not getting anywhere. And we have this chat room up. And basically what it's turning into is just like...
It's a time drain.
It's just noise now, really.
You guys seem to be troubleshooting his code a lot, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, what's going to end up having to happen is you, Mitchell, myself, I know McManus is really familiar with that, and whoever else wants to join, I need to sit down with you guys. We need to talk about the problems. I'll review the tickets before we get in there. I'll review the chat, but I need you guys to help me understand other things, like the whole situation. And then I need to have a meeting with this guy, and I'm going to be like, look, this chat room has been open for some time. Because, I mean, really, a lot of his problems are because he's using us as like DevOps, and I'm not good with that anymore. So it was good while we were working on this project to get him moved over to this new environment that he has, but continuously, no. So we're gonna need to say like, hey, like, I know your problems are like a lot of your issues are developer related. We need to put you in touch with a developer that's gonna help you like this because we can't continue to carry on like this. It's like one of those things like where we have US Gold, we're trying to get through, and we're working on Zarple like simultaneously, and it's like I want to make sure we at least knock one down before we focused on the other. So right now, all the attention's on US Gold. I'm gonna get to Zarpo as soon as we close this door on US Gold. Go ahead, Ben. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just about to say, this is his third or fourth semi-permanent room, and it's a daily occurrence, and it's a time sink, and I think there's one part that his devs absolutely have no idea what they're doing. I mean, you've heard McManus slam his head against the desk many a times, and the other part is he's using things like New Relic, and he thinks he understands what he's reading, and he doesn't. This morning he sunk about a half an hour insisting that there's I/O on one of his NFS servers. The NFS server's quiet as hell, and he's actually running a load because he's having a shit time with Redis.
Yeah, he needs help. He needs help in doing his job, and by having this office, this virtual office, basically we're becoming an extension of their business, but without getting a W-2 or a 1099 form at the end of the year from him, right? Because we work zero. Like he's taking advantage here. So he's in my sights, guys. We have to get through US Gold, and then I'm gonna lock in on this guy, and I'm gonna figure out what's going on.
Do you think once we've got our list of blessed developers, we start pushing it on him?
Yes, dude. And look, yesterday, I don't know. I know sometimes done. I think I dropped this in when you were already gone, but I have a list of. I started working on this with who was it? Jesse. I worked with Seeker, and we ranked all of the devs. I'll forward this to you, dude, so you can see some of the stuff that we were working on. But yeah, I've already passed it back, and I've got some of the developers ranked. Here we go. Do dev partners. Here we go. Here, I'll forward this to you right now. So yeah, Jesse chimed in, and Seeker helped me out a lot, and I was just my own basic experiences. Some of the stuff that was on there, like that sales gave a good review to, like if I didn't have anything negative or positive to say, I just left ours blank. But for the most part, I was able to give them a lot of good information. There you go, dude. I just sent it to you. You can open that spreadsheet and have a look at it. But yeah, you're absolutely correct. Like, this is why we keep this running, dude. This is why we keep this document alive for sales. Like, so they should know, and we can just like, hey, put Zarpo in touch with what's this guy's name? Cody? Or no, Ian Coast. Put him in touch with Ian Coast, dude. Like, stuff like that. So, yeah, he needs Ian Coast bad.
I'm sorry, I heard that. Attack needs to take over all his development.
Fuck you, hell no. Shit will burn, crash and burn. All right. Go for it, Randall.
Morning, y'all. Got to follow up with Mixer Direct. They keep having the server crash because of a PCI scan, and I think it was because of mod security. Disabled mod security the other day, and the scan was supposed to be running earlier this morning, like at midnight or something like that. So hopefully, I don't know, I haven't seen any updates, so I'm hoping everything was all good, and just got to follow up with them. I might be able to finally close Sergeant Grit's ticket out. We finally, on Friday, put him on SSL termination, or the low balance SSL termination, and I just kind of left the ticket open for about a week just in case anything else arrives, but it doesn't look like anything else has arisen. So it looks like we're good on that sense. Got to follow up with Kabbalah.com. It looks like one of their staging sites reacts super slow, and the other day, like 4 different crawlers were scanning the site, so the server locked up because of how slow that site reacts. So I don't know why the site's slow in general, but I don't think they should have a staging site being crawled by Yahoo, Google, and all that stuff. So I'm going to follow up with them again. Other than that, I also got to follow the Childress marketing group, Morgan Childress. His server was having issues, I think, after they changed the salt keys from their staging and live sites, separated them. It looks like it hasn't been too much of an issue since then. So probably just close that out as well. I guess the other thing besides that is not Kanye, Kane and Son. What do you call it? Their server went down. I think it might have been because their Magento logs got to about 112 gigabytes. And that's why they were having issues. I rotated that out. We'll hope for that. But yeah, just kind of look at the server, see if there's any other things that's going on at the time. But yeah.
You don't need to add log rotation there?
What's up?
You don't need to add log rotation there?
I'm gonna tell them to disable what do you call it? Magento logging. I mean, I already told them what errors or what notices were getting, logged constantly in their Magento syslogs. So if I don't get any response from them, I might just throw in some kind of like cron job to rotate the log out. But if not, hopefully, they'll start communicating with me.
Or just add it to log rotate.d, right?
I could do it through that, but then I have to actually figure out what the syntax is to get it all set up with log rotate d, and I think it'd just be easier to make cron job just to move
for
the
a scholar like you, that would be fun.
Nah. But yeah, other than that, same old same.
All right, JD, you're up.
Good morning, everybody. Just kind of cleaning up from a lot of stuff that happened yesterday. Let's see, I had a PHP upgrade early in the morning, and so Altman Luggage looks like they have another ticket in the queue now, just a couple of cleanup issues with some of the modules, their MySQL module and stuff like that. So I was in at 8 yesterday, and let's see, 12 hours later I was done. The Wholesale Marine basically yesterday had their deal where they tried to apply 7405 and the 2 largest patches at the same time. So they try to do 7405 and what's that other one, 6788 or something.
Yeah.
That's just that insane one.
They had to roll back, right?
So yep. So I just restored them from backup and got them going again. So they'll probably regroup and try again at some point, but they're up and running okay right now. So just waiting to hear from them about that. And then this morning, there was some issues with SureGrip, some of their subdomains that they had. So just close that out this morning. I think that's done with. But Philly Flare, it looks like they're kind of having some interesting problems with their certs. They keep trying to get these certs to work, and they're saying they're not working on their Apple devices, and it's probably just a matter of selecting the right ciphers to use in the conf. But it seems like that's what their problem is. I don't know if they tried a new cert, and then they're trying some other stuff, and I don't know if that's exactly what they're doing, but just going to look at that briefly and then just kind of toss it back in their court, see if they come back with anything. And let's see. Other than that, Friday's usually the super busy ticket wise, so I'm just going to be trying to pick up those tickets that come in. So it's usually the worst ticket day, but let's see. And then I should be able to close out some of the other ones I have in my stack there, and that's it.
All right, everybody. So today, like again, my focus is going to be waiting to hear any updates back from McManus about U.S. Gold, working on the ticket handling information, and then, of course, for me, I'm going to try to get even more QA done. So, all right, guys. See you around the way.
All right. Have a good day.
Later.
One time in band camp,